we have three students from Performing Arts Studio West, Meet the Biz. So I'm gonna let one of them in right now. You might know this wonderful actress, Shannon Deerex, and she saw that you were coming on, Allie, and she said, "I have to. Can I come?" And there she is, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad you're here.
So Shannon, you have a question for Allie?
Oh yeah. If you could go anywhere in world, where'd you go?
Oh, that's a great question. I love to travel. So, I think the first place on my bucket list at the moment is Hawaii.
Oh,
I've never been, and I am dying to go. I I I think I might try to plan a trip there like soon because after this year of not being able to travel at all, I like have this sort of feeling like why wait? Like just do the trip. Do the trip. Like don't wait. Don't put it off. So I would love to go to Hawaii and swim in the ocean and visit the rainforests and
Gotta go to Maui.
Maui.
That's where I'm from. Yeah,
You're from Maui?
I grew up on Maui. Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay. All right. Well, now I know who I'm going to talk to before I go.
I love.
Shannon, thank you for asking.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you, Shannon, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, I love that.
We actually just jumped right into this conversation, didn't we?
I know, right?
We
My God.
didn't even let you do your intro, David. I'm so sorry.
No, we did the intro right before you came in. So,
Oh, okay.
so it was perfect. It was magic. And yes, mine is Greece. That's where I want to go. Greece.
Ooh, yeah.
Next, we have, let's see. Oh, Katie Harney Johnson. Hello, Katie. Oh, she's connecting. She's connected there.
Hello.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. How's it going?
Katie.
Hey.
Katie, Allie.
Nice to
Nice to
meet
meet
you.
you
No trouble.
virtually.
Yes.
So you have a question for Allie?
Yeah, I mean, I would have a million questions, but I only get one. And I'm having a hard time choosing, but okay. So you were the first wheelchair performer to win a Tony for your part in Oklahoma. And I remember that speech so well because as a performer with a disability, but also as a mom of a child who also has a disability, it was just, so touching because it made me think, look at the hope for the next generation. And I just wonder if you have any particular stories from people coming up to you after and telling you how that speech affected them.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. And I think there were a bunch of young girls that came to see Oklahoma afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
um, after I won. And I remember meeting them afterwards, and, you know, they just said, this, I can't tell you like what this means to me because like now I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I, the speech that I gave, I, I wasn't, I was sort of, I didn't have any, uh, I didn't have any agenda with it other than the
Right.
fact that I watched the Tonys
Mm-hmm.
since I was a little girl and I had
Mm-hmm.
never seen anyone in a chair. And so to me, I was sort of like calling out to like all those younger alleys
Mm-hmm.
and all those young kids who just like have never seen themselves represented and how deeply that affects us.
Yeah.
Like representation really is a thing.
Yeah.
Like we say it and we talk about it, but like it is a thing
Yeah.
for young people. And so when these young girls came to see the show, uh and they were like, when you started to sing and then when you like did that thing and that dance, like they were like, I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it. Like now I know I can do it. And it wasn't like this is my dream. It was like now I know I can, which
Right.
to me uh is exactly what I want to do. I don't want people to like, you know, a lot of us talk about how like when people say like we're inspiring, like it's kind. You can feel it's
Right.
coming from a good place.
Hmm.
But it keeps people in some ways, I think, separate from
Right. Yeah.
us because it allows them to feel good about the way that they perceive you.
Right.
But to me, like, I think I really hoped that, obviously the award meant a lot to me because I had been working since I was 7 years old
Mm.
to not win a Tony. I just wanted to perform at the highest level. That
Right.
and I wanted to feel seen and accepted by a community that I loved and respected so much.
Right.
I didn't set out to be the first person. I didn't set out to win a Tony. I set out to do this thing that I couldn't live without. And so I hoped that the speech also was like a call to action that like
Yeah.
this is I just won this, but this is like for all of you, that like saying like you can arrive here as well, and
Yeah.
like do not give up and work like harder than you ever thought you could work. And that also, like when I met all these young people that came to see the show, was really important. I wanted to talk to them and I wanted to tell them like how like this was a dream for me, but it took work to get there. It's not enough to dream something.
For
Like
sure.
you have to put the action behind it. And that
Sure.
means giving up things. It means getting disciplined with yourself. It means getting focused with yourself. And it means like when one door doesn't open, to like take that energy, that anger, that pain, and fuel it to find a door that will. So,
Right.
so when those young girls came to see the show, um, and I would meet them afterwards and say hi, it was just like it was like selfishly it was like seeing myself, like a younger version of myself who had gone to see tons of Broadway shows, and
Hmm.
like it was a moment of realizing that they were able to see themselves up there. And I wished so badly that I had had that,
Right.
um,
Hmm.
because because this thing that I wanted, this dream of being on Broadway one day, like I because of how I was raised, I always was like, I'm gonna do this, but I didn't know exactly how.
Right.
And
Yeah.
for these young people like to see that like the how is being done, it's in front of you, you can have this. That was, I think, the most powerful part afterwards, and meeting those young girls.
I
That's
love how you said, I wish I would have had it. The thing is, you had it. You actually did have it. You got it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like David, we were talking about this at the beginning, like how do you know what you want to do, and like do you trust your gut? And also any of the opportunities and projects, like I think about one of the things that fuels me is like what did I wish I what had I wished that I had had. So like I've
Mhm.
just recently put out this book, And it's a
Mhm.
middle grade novel about a young girl who is in a chair who moves from California to New Jersey and is introduced to theater for the first time. And it's a lot of it's based on my own experiences, but it's not my biography.
Right.
And the reason that I wrote it and wanted to do that was because, like, I never read anything as a teenager where I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
That experience, that the way that that person articulated it, that's me. And when I finally met a community of people who were in chairs who, like, allowed themselves to be seen and shared their own experiences, Toby, you were one of those people.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like taking off like 100-pound backpack
Yeah.
because I didn't have to carry something alone. And so,
Absolutely.
like, these projects, like this book, and like the things that I am doing, that I'm sort of like self kind of producing and creating, um, that's one of the main criterias, is like, what did I need that was not out there? Um,
Yeah.
I just think that's so important, again, for young people. I'm always drawn to making things for young people, because I never saw anyone like me growing up.
Yeah. I love that because basically what you're doing, you have intention behind everything that you're doing. And that makes it a million times better when you have that intention behind it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's very special.
Thank you. And thank you for your support. I'm so glad that you were able to come on here today.
Oh, I'm so glad that you were able to come on here today. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Thanks, Katie.
What is the name of your book?
It's called The Chance to Fly.
The chance.
Yay. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a musical coming? Is there I mean, you're a nonstop tour de force of talents, and it's not on just one platform. And I can relate. Some people fish with one piece of bait, and some people fish with a net, and you pull in from different areas, right? And you definitely seem to be someone who fishes with a net and does music and acting and writing. And what else are you afflicted with? because,
Yeah, this
because
book.
that's what it is, right?
Yeah, and the timing of this was crazy because we started working on this book like over 2 years ago. Um, and it happened to be released right now. So it's just, I'm really excited about it because it's very much like theater. It's like a story about theater, which uh, right now people are missing so much because Broadway is shut down and most theaters are not operating, and hopefully we're going to see more and more of that this summer. But I just also am so excited about being able, in so many ways it was really healing for me to be able to write about some of these experiences when I was a teenager and being in a chair and just feeling so alone and so afraid of being different. I just like hated being different as a teenager. I grew up in a town where I just didn't see anyone like me. And now, as an adult, I'm so grateful that I am who I am and unique and different. But growing up, I did not like that about myself. And I remember, like, just these awkward moments of being like, coming into a room and just feeling so embarrassed to be me. And I think that, like, we all have our pain, our darkness. But I also realize, especially like, again, this year of reflection, like, I can use that. I think that my power to create joy and light comes from the darkness that I have experienced as a child, as, a young person who just was very confused about why I was in this position and why I had to be, the one kid that like couldn't get out on the playground and play and like have these experiences. And I didn't feel gypped as a kid. That's never how I like it never translated in that way, but I did have this like fire in me that I knew I needed to use or I was going to explode. And so like for anyone that's watching this, like if you have this fire, and I think that like a lot of us, and I dare to say all of us, have some kind of fire, we can use it as artists and we can channel it and it can be productive. It also can be productive in a negative way and it can take us down if we don't harness it.
Well, and you know what's interesting? It shows when you're on stage, when you're on screen, there's a powerful light behind your eyes, and it's amazing.
Thanks. I feel like it's been a lifetime of unpacking all of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we now have Blair Webb is here. Blair Webb, Ali Str-
Hi.
and you know Toby.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Oh. Not me.
It's so nice to meet you.
Whoa.
Wow.
Where do you live, Blair? Where are you coming from? Where are you zooming from?
In Manhattan Beach.
Beautiful. I've been. I love it there.
Yeah.
Nice.
What question do you have, Blair?
Yeah. My arm.
You're like my idol, and I would like to know.
You.
Out, or is it stressful? Or is it a lot of pressure?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for saying what you said. And I think at this point in my life, it's all of it. I am proud. I'm stressed out. I do feel pressure. I feel relief. So to arrive at this place in my life and in my career, I know that I have worked so hard to get where I have gotten, and I feel so proud of that. But I do feel a great responsibility, Blair, to represent authentically and positively, and I think that we still have a really long way to go as far as representation in the industry. Like, I think we're in this diversity movement and we see so many more people of color and different, people, different gender and sexuality. And like, we're seeing all of that. And somehow I still feel like we don't see disability as often as we should. 1 in 5 Americans identify as being disabled. So I do feel a great responsibility because I don't want to be the only one. I want there to be hundreds and thousands more actors with disabilities, artists with disabilities who are getting opportunities. And so sometimes I feel like, am I doing enough? Am I helping other people get the work that they want and helping them achieve their dreams? Am I even in a position to be able to do that? I ask myself those questions, and I love what I do so much. I eat, breathe, and sleep it, and I've given my all my energy and my power, I think, to my career. And then I also ask myself, like, I also want a life. I want a family, and I want these other things. And I think this is not unique to somebody with a disability, but like, can you have it all? And can you create both a really full, successful career and have a family and have children and be married and have and we've been talking about this throughout this conversation about like having a disability. We have not seen ourselves represented nearly enough. Therefore, you wonder, is this possible for me? And so I think I do feel like overwhelmed sometimes by figuring out how to do it all, how to live this full life and stay true to myself and accomplish all the things that I want and stay healthy and happy. We can't do anything without our health, and that's, I know, something that for us that live with disabilities or live with any kind of illness or health issues, we really understand that, like, if you're down for the count, you're down for the count. Like, you can't go to the auditions, you can't do the shows, you can't do the days on set. So I feel all of that. I feel like you articulated it best, actually, Blair. Like I feel all of it, and I am really excited for the future and what is possible. And then I also feel sort of overwhelmed because we've had this crazy year, and to come back and reintegrate into the world and figure out how to do this maybe in a new way, to not go back but move forward, feels kind of crazy, and also just really exciting. And thank you for asking that. That was a really good question.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
No, nice to meet you.
I love
Alex,
this.
do you have a favorite, I guess, moment, or maybe even worse moment where you were just like fighting through the trenches because the show must go on? Anything like that, or any favorite characters that you got to play or moments that you might have had besides obviously winning a Tony and being on that stage?
Well, speaking of the one and only, um, what a surprise! Judy's connecting to audio. Well, yes, that was like totally one of my favorite moments, playing Judy. Hi! Yay! Hi.
Oh,
Wait, you're muted.
asked to unmute.
I'm not muted anymore. Hello. So great to see you.
It's so good to see you. How's it going?
Well, I love that white couch.
It's actually a bed. It's a hotel. It's a hotel bed. I'm in a hotel.
Where?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, what are you doing in Atlanta?
I'm shooting something this week, but I'm not. I'll text you what it is. I can't tell you here. But how was the Oscars?
They were amazing. I'm totally waiting for when you're going to be there.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I think it's wonderful. You, Allie, you were at the Tonys. Judy, you were at the Tonys, and Toby was at the Oscars. Well, Judy was at the Oscars, and Toby last year at the Oscars.
Yeah,
I love this.
Representing.
Tony, you were in the choir
yeah. The only thing I cared about in that choir, honestly, was that same thing what you were talking about before, Allie, was that little kids would see that there was a wheelchair on the stage, and that was it's all I cared about. I was like, all right, am I high up enough? I raised my elevator up as high as I could go.
Well, it wasn't that they saw a wheelchair.
As long
They
as
saw a
those little kids-
person. It's they saw you and Allie and me and Jimmy and Andrea in wheelchairs. That's it.
I have to say, those were my, like, when I watched those, it was my favorite part. It's like, the friends in the audience, friends on the stage.
But
Really lovely.
I was just asking Allie, kind of, and I guess you were really a spearhead. You know, you guys have both played that role of being spearheads for a community and really like paving the way. And what was it like, I guess, to see yourself represented by someone else in such a wonderful and humorous way?
Well, for me, I loved it. It's so great. And I thought she did a really fantastic, we'd never met each other. We didn't meet each other. No, we didn't meet each other until the day after it showed at Juniors. And I was so happy to be there with her, introducing her to foods that because she's from New Jersey, she didn't know. But what I really liked about being there is like one of the guys who is a waiter, he's kind of stalking around the table and trying to figure out how can he say hello to Allie. So he kind of sheepishly comes over and tells her how he's seen Oklahoma, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And she like lights up and she's so gracious. And it was such, to me, a wonderful moment because she was in Oklahoma and he was like so in love with Allie, her singing, her acting, her persona. And I thought, this is so great. And then we taught her how to eat some better food, but it was.
Well, it was such a dream for me to play Judy and to then, meet and then have this friendship. And we've been talking about this for like an hour, but like to not have that representation for me growing up and to finally now have you in my life, someone I look up to, somebody who's, paved these roads and who's, decided that like actually the way that things are is not okay and I can change them. And, I am not in politics, but I am an artist. Well, I'm an artist and I believe that I can make change in our industry and in playing you in that amazing, Drunk History. Like it just had its last episode. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's over. But
and they only had one show on disability.
I know. But to do that one episode and they cast all these other actors with disabilities in the episode and to be there that day and to like reenact that was like this sort of very almost like a spiritual experience for me because I was like learning about our history, which was not taught in history growing up, and I really didn't know much about the disabled revolution and the way that I just thought that episode was really amazing. And then I also got to play you and learn about you and then meet you. So
you read her, you voiced her book.
Both of the books.
Both.
People love your reading.
And I just finished. I went in yesterday to do retakes for the next one coming out,
exactly.
Which I am so excited about for young people. Oh, I'm so thrilled about that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I have to honestly say, for me with Allie and, other people, it's great to see how work that has been being done is now really taking hold. And it's moving away from I wish this would be to it is happening. And for me, it's also what I like about Allie and others, her peers in theater and other areas, is that they very much are not, well, you very much are not in this just for yourself. I mean, obviously, you're an actor and you want to excel and you want to be honored and rewarded for your work. But everyone fully knows that you are there with the hand out to help people and that you are always speaking out about what's going well and what's not. And I think that's really so very important because it's an intergenerational uh, example that regardless of your age, speaking up and out is always important.
Yes, and I feel more empowered than ever to do that because of you and knowing your story and what and what it means to speak up. It's not complaining. It's not making a fuss. It's not being a burden. It's understanding that it's bigger than you. And I think like for anybody who's watching this today that like it's not just about the disabled community. I'm talking about anywhere. If there is injustice, like you have to speak up. You have to bring attention and you must bring people together. Because if you're speaking this truth, you're not the only one. Like I am in a unique position to be the first person to in a chair to be on Broadway, the only one. But I know I will not be the only one for long, and I know that there are many issues that are not just affecting me they in the Broadway community and specifically around mobility and what the backstage accessibility issues are, which there are issues around accessibility backstage in the Broadway houses. And and so this thing that I try to find the perfect moments to bring up, right? They are not, it's really not just about me
Well,
ever.
it's about these changes, about these breakthroughs that help heal the whole world. Because there's too much, too many people that are in their little boxes. It's like, get out of them. This is the kind of stuff that helps heal all.
Exactly. And in our conditioning, um we were speaking, Judy, not too long ago about this, about my book, The Chance to Fly, that just came out, and to articulate sort of all these moments of my life growing up where I felt injustice. I felt moments that were not right, and I didn't have the words and the confidence and the guts yet to say them.
I mean,
So
neither did I.
yeah, I know. And that's when I was reading your book and I was reading the parts of when you were a kid, I was just like tears were like streaming. I was like, we have to stop. I have to like take a moment because those moments, like your moment at the candy shop, like my moment of being told that like I can't do the dancing in this musical when I'm 9 years old, it didn't sit right. That was, I knew it wasn't right, but I didn't know how to make a change, and I didn't know how to articulate it, and I didn't even really know how to talk about it with my family because in many ways they were protecting me and I wanted to be okay for them. And so now as an adult, to be able to go back and write those stories and tell those stories, not only is it healing for me, but I hope that it gives other young people permission to call out these moments that are not right, that are that where they don't feel like they are being treated fairly or equal. And so I don't know, that was a tangent, but I just had to say
No,
it.
I think it's
To me,
really
it's like
important.
your voice, Allie, are those wings, right? Learning to fly and learning to use that voice that maybe you didn't use in the beginning, and because of Judy's voice, before you, it kind of adds to yours, and to have voices like that out representing not just the disability community or like the women's community, but the community of just being a good person, you know what I'm saying? And not having great expectations, but just asking for the same respect that anyone else would deserve. You guys have done that. That's
I
unbelievable.
mean, I think what's very important for you and Allie and me and others is that we do have great expectations. I mean, I think it's difficult for, I mean, children can fantasize, but as both of you were saying, if you're not seeing yourself in some way, the fantasy becomes much more difficult. So I think the ability to have, whether you have a physical disability or not, but when you're acknowledging your disability and speaking about it, in this case in theater, important message to younger people or people who maybe just acquired their disability. When did you acquire your disability, Tobias?
I was right after college, so I was 22. I've
See, I
spent
think
half my life with a disability, half
so
without. Yeah.
I actually think that, Allie had a disability at 2, right?
Yeah.
I had an 18 months, but 22, there's this whole other group of people who, I mean, we both grew up, maybe if we did grow up, but we all grew up where disability was the norm.
Right.
You grew up where disability was a tragedy. And then one day you're the tragedy. And I think it's fundamentally different. And to me, it's really important that people in your group also really in sharing your story, which will really be different than Allie's and mine. And I think people don't speak enough publicly about what their views were of disabled people, because before you became one of us or one of them, how people reacted to you, whether you felt you were going to be able to move forward. Where did you get your motivation? Where did you get your resilience? I think those are really important stories. And we nurture each other, people we know and don't know. And that's why, I was so excited last year when I saw you at the Oscars. I'm always like looking, oh, is that guy? I was so excited. And I thought, how stupid is this?
I can't tell you, when I found out, I was like, Judy wants to know who I am? What? That's ridiculous. Now I'm here, a year later, be able to and be able to share a moment with you and Alice.
Well, thank you all. This is Allie. You're a blessing. Judy, a blessing. Toby, brothers. So this is just such a healing.
Achaya.
A mahaya and a healing. And I thank you all.
Thank you so much for hosting this and having all of us together for this conversation. And I hope that we can have more.
We will. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, David.
Bye. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And the Tony Award goes to Ali Stroker.
Ali Stroker missed her Oklahoma callback during a canceled flight and won the part through a self-taped performance.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This award is for every kid who is watching tonight who has a disability, who has a limitation or a challenge, who has been waiting to see themselves represented in this arena. You are. There are so many people I need to thank. First, I want to thank my representation, Jed, Ted, and Rachel. Next, I want to thank my Oklahoma family, Eva, Daniel, and my entire cast. Thank you for having my back. Finally, I need to thank my home team, my best friends who have held my hands and pulled me around New York City for years, helping me. And finally, my family, Jake, Alyssa, JP, Tori, and Dan. Mom and Dad, thank you for teaching me to use my gifts to help people. I love you. We did it.